What is going on, guys? So in today's video we are going to be comparing the regular S23 to the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5. Now you might be thinking you want to get the Samsung Galaxy S23, nice smaller compact phone, but you also might be considering the Z Flip 5 because of the fact that it can fold and it has a nice pretty decent size outside display. It's definitely improvement over the Z Flip 4. So let's go ahead and just get specifications out of the way so you know kind of what you're getting. So both of the phones have a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. For Galaxy, it is a great processor. I would be very impressed to see if any thing you threw at it was laggy on it. It is just a great processor. So on the S23, we have a 6.1 inch 1080 by 2340 display. Even though both of these displays are 1080, let me tell you, they look just absolutely fantastic. You cannot tell that they are 1080p displays. I mean, I can anyway. So on the Z Flip 4, we have a 6.7 inch, so a bigger display that is 1080 by 2640, which is just slightly a little bit sharper than the S23 here. But let me tell you something. You look at both of these, you will not tell me which display looks better. I don't think you can, because they're both very similar. And of course, what Samsung can do with displays is just incredible. I mean, the displays on them, I would not think they're 1080. I mean, they look way better than 1080. So as for battery, on the smaller S23, we're looking at a 3900 milliamp hour battery, which is okay, but if you do throw a lot at it, trust me, it will drain very fast. Now on the Z Flip 5, we're looking at an actually smaller battery at 3700 milliamp, but that is because, you know, the battery has to be split up into a smaller chassis because, you know, it has to be folded. There can't be, you know, special electronics in here where it bends at, or where it folds, I guess is the better lack of terms here. So really, both devices are pretty similar. Now, of course, on the Z Flip 5, you do have a glasstic screen, which basically means it's plastic because glass don't bend. And there is, of course, the crease in the middle, which I was putting my finger over, and you can kind of maybe see on camera. It's more easy to see once you start to fold it. If you look at it dead on and you use the Z Flip 5 enough, sorry about that, you won't notice it, let me tell you. So I think in that regard, you know, maybe the Z Flip 5 won't be for everybody because maybe you don't like that finger going over that crease. I think it's fine versus on the S23, you know, it's just a clear slate of glass. But of course, both are rocking Gorilla Glass Victus 2. Now, I'm not going to do a drop test with my personal phones, but I can tell you that, you know, these phones are very rugged. You know, you can see mine has no cracks on it, no dings. Screen, you know, it's getting a little wear, but that's okay because that's a screen. Now, I want to go ahead and talk about basically performance, because I understand you guys don't want to hear a bunch of specs and stuff. You want to see performance. So let's go ahead and get into some benchmarks and stuff like that. So I have the speed test app open here. We are both connected to the T-Mobile network. And let's go ahead and go down. You can see we have band 2 on LTE and 5G, which is probably M41. So let's go ahead and hit both. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and do one at a time, just so we can see the actual performance. And to be fair, we'll go ahead and put them on the same server. And since you guys don't want to watch a long speed test, I will go ahead and pause the video and come back when they're done. Okay, so as the S23 finishes up here, let me tell you something. This isn't the most accurate test. There's a lot of different factors of why these results could be different, and it's just one test. It's not indicative of how cellular performance is on both. But I can tell you that I do see slightly better performance with cellular connectivity and speeds on my Z Flip 5 versus my S23. And you can see the speeds on the Z Flip 5 are 107 and only half a meg on the up. Very high loaded pings in 1,000 and 4,000. That's not good. But you can see on the S23, we got a little bit more usable speeds with upload at 1 meg, but less download speeds at about 24 megs, with very high loaded pings at 6,000 and 1,000. So, you know, I do think the Z Flip 5 does have slightly better cellular performance, but I think that the S23 does slightly better on upload and just giving you more consistent speeds. Now let me go ahead and run some real benchmarks here. Alright, so now I have Geekbench 6 open on both, and let's go ahead and make sure all the apps are cleared, and we'll go ahead and run both speed tests. I will be back, or speed test, benchmark test, and I will be back when they're done. So I will say while this is running real quick, I did hit start over here a few seconds later than I did on the S23, but I can see that it does take those few seconds to catch up, but I would guarantee that if I press start at the exact same time, they would probably be performing exactly the same. So I will go ahead and come back when they are done. Alright, so both just finished up, and you can see they are within like less than 100 of each other. So you can see the S23, got a little higher on the multi or single core score by like, I don't know, what is that, like 13 points or so, and the multi-core score, the Z Flip 5 was slightly higher by like 99, I think. So you can see they're pretty close in range. Now let me go ahead and go over cameras real quick. I'm personally not going to do a camera test. There's plenty of those out there if you want to watch them, because I think camera is more subjective than objective, or maybe it's the other way around. I don't really remember. What I'm saying is I think it's more opinion based than actually factual, because more megapixels don't always mean more performance. But let me go ahead and tell you about the cameras. So for the cameras here on the S23, we are looking at a 50 megapixel wide at 1.8 aperture, a 10 megapixel optical zoom at 2.4 aperture, and then a 12 megapixel super steady video camera, whatever that means, and it is at f2.2. Now, just because the main camera on this setup is 50 megapixels doesn't always mean better camera. And like I said, I think the way that you like a camera is more a personal opinion than, actually, fact on, more megapixels means better quality. That's not always the case. And then of course the front camera here, which you can see maybe there, it's hole punch cutout. Actually, let me go to something brighter. Let me go light fast dot. No. I'm trying to find an app that would be brighter, but you could see the camera on it. But anyway, the front camera is a 12 megapixel f2.2, and even then, it's a good camera.